You've been here before, haven't you? That suffocating silence. That moment when you look around, expecting someone, anyone, to stand up, to speak up, to fight for you. But there's nothing, just a void, empty space where support should have been. It's in those moments when the cold truth sets in. No one is coming. You've been abandoned, left to fend for yourself, and it feels like betrayal, like a knife twisting in your back. But here's the thing no one ever told you. It's in that betrayal that you will find your power. Because when no one fights for you, you learn to fight for yourself. And that's when everything changes. That's when you stop waiting for a handout, for a rescue. That's when you realize that the only person you can rely on is staring back at you in the mirror. That's the moment you step into the darkness, not as a victim, but as a warrior. Let's face it, you've been left behind, haven't you? The world, your so-called friends, the ones you thought would stand by your side, they're all gone. They left you in the dirt, bruised, broken, and alone. Maybe you begged for help. Maybe you stayed silent, hoping someone would notice the pain in your eyes. Maybe you believed deep down that someone would care enough to fight for you. But no one did. They all walked away. That's the reality, isn't it? In this world, most people only stick around when it's easy, when it's convenient. But when the weight of your struggle becomes too heavy, when it's no longer fun to be around you, they disappear, and you're left drowning in your own battles. It hurts. It cuts deeper than any physical wound. The people you trusted, the ones you thought had your back, they're gone, and the pain of that realization burns. But here's the harsh truth you need to accept. No one is obligated to fight for you. I know that sounds brutal, but it's reality. No one owes you their loyalty. No one is bound to be your savior. You'll never truly know who people are until you're at your lowest, until you've been pushed into the dirt and left to bleed. That's when you'll see the truth, and it'll shatter your heart. But don't let it destroy you, because this moment of abandonment, it's also a moment of clarity, a chance to realize something so powerful that it'll change your life forever. When no one fights for you, that's when you discover you were always meant to fight alone. It's in the solitude, in the moments where you're left with nothing but your pain and your broken pieces, that you awaken to your own strength. You see, there's a fire inside you, a fire that's been smoldering beneath the surface, waiting for this moment to ignite. It's only when you're abandoned, when you're betrayed, that the spark catches and you realize you don't need anyone to save you. You were never meant to be saved. You are the savior. You are the fighter. You are the one who's going to crawl out of the dirt, stand up, and face the world, alone if necessary. This isn't about becoming hard, or bitter, or angry. It's about becoming unstoppable. It's about understanding that your worth, your power, your strength, it was never dependent on someone else's loyalty. Your strength is your own. It's always been yours. But you needed this moment, this abandonment, to realize it. But don't get me wrong, this path, it's not easy. Fighting for yourself, being your own champion, it's not some glamorous hero's journey. It's brutal. It's lonely. It's filled with nights where you question whether you even have the strength to keep going. There will be times when the darkness surrounds you, when it feels like the entire world is against you. And maybe it is. Maybe the odds are stacked so high against you that even thinking about fighting back seems pointless. But this is where you make a choice. Either you give up and let the world break you, or you rise up and break the world instead. You fight, even when it feels like you have nothing left. You fight, even when every muscle in your body is screaming for you to stop. You fight, because no one is going to do it for you. The hardest battles aren't the ones with the world. They're the ones you fight within yourself. That voice inside your head, the one that tells you you're not strong enough, that you're not good enough. That's the real enemy. It's louder than any external force, more relentless than any critic or doubter. You'll hear it every day. You can't do this. You're too weak. Why even bother? But here's the secret. That voice is a liar. It thrives on your fear, your doubt. And the more you listen to it, the more it grows. But if you shut it down, if you look that voice in the face and say, "No, I'm stronger than you," you'll realize just how powerful you are. When no one fights for you, that's when you have to fight the hardest battle of all, the one against yourself. You'll question your worth. You'll doubt your abilities. But every time you push through that darkness, every time you defy that voice, you become stronger. Every scar, every bruise, every failure, it all builds you into someone unbreakable. And this is where you truly begin to understand the power of fighting for yourself. When you stop relying on others, when you stop waiting for someone to save you, you start to control your own destiny. You become the master of your fate. You see, the world is full of people waiting for someone else to fight their battles. They sit on the sidelines, hoping for a hero to swoop in and rescue them from their misery. But heroes don't come for everyone. Heroes are rare, because most people are too afraid to become one themselves. But not you. You've been pushed too far. You've been betrayed, abandoned, and left to rot. But in that darkness, you found something they didn't expect. You found your strength. And now, you're going to use it. Because here's the truth. When you learn to fight for yourself, you become invincible. There's no one to let you down, no one to betray you, no one to fail you. The only person who can stop you is you. There's a strange beauty in solitude. It's in the moments of being utterly alone that you learn who you really are. Without the distractions of others, without the noise of the world, you're left with nothing but yourself. And while that can be terrifying, it's also incredibly powerful. Because solitude strips away the lies. It takes away the illusions that others can save you, that you need someone else to validate your existence. It forces you to confront the reality that you are enough. When you fight for yourself, you realize you don't need the crowd's approval. You don't need anyone's validation, but your own. You learn to stand tall in your solitude, not as someone who is abandoned, but as someone who is free. So here you are, standing alone. But not in defeat. No, you're standing in victory, because when no one fought for you, you learned to fight for yourself. And that's the ultimate power. You've been through the worst. You've faced the darkness, the silence, the pain of abandonment. But you didn't let it break you. You rose above it. You turned your pain into power. And now, you're untouchable. Because when you learn to fight for yourself, no one can take that away from you. The world may try to knock you down. People may continue to walk away. But none of that matters anymore. You've become the fighter you were always meant to be. And now, when you stand up, you do so with the knowledge that you don't need anyone else to stand with you. You are your own army, your own force. You are enough. Remember this, the world will not fight for you. People will leave. They will betray you, abandon you, and let you down. But in those moments, when it feels like everything is falling apart, know this. You have the power to fight for yourself. And once you realize that, you're unstoppable. So fight, not for them, not for their approval. Fight for yourself. because in the end, the only person you can rely on is the one staring back at you in the mirror. And trust me, that person is more powerful than you ever imagined. By the way, if you want to level up in life, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications. Until next time.